could freestyle about it, preach about it, or go off top of the head. But today I bought my notes so I could resurrect the dead. Yeah! Greetings and blessings to my navigators of the seven seas. I am your locksmith, your symbologist, and metaphysical tour guide, Flat Archie 5000, and I'm back with another one as we navigate through the land of Pineal. Today we're going to unlock your Solomon's Temple to explore the infamous and timeless wolf. So as always, strap on your helmet and buckle up your spacesuit because we're on a mental voyage and we're about to take off before the walls of Jericho come crumbling down. In the tradition of entering Solomon's Temple, we must use a meditative master key to help us stay on the path of enlightenment. It is these divine words that have a literal, allegorical, and metaphysical message attached to them when understood in its proper context. So today we give honors and respect to an unknown mastermind who once said, "The only challenge you cannot conquer is the one you choose to avoid." Let me repeat it one more time for those of you who may be thinking about turning back when you're only 2 feet away from the mountaintop. A mastermind, a carpenter, once said, "The only challenge you cannot conquer is the one you choose to avoid." Go on and meditate on that and click your heels 3 times while I ring this bell of enlightenment for that powerful meditative key of wisdom as you enter the corridors of your Solomon's Temple. Let's get to it, shall we? No time to waste. Take note, master builders. Today we're going to deep dive into the science and history of the wolf like never before and break down its many symbolic associations. Thus, when we talk about wolves, many people associate this wild and untamed beast to stories and nursery rhymes that stem from their childhood, such as Little Red Riding Hood, The 3 Little Pigs, Puss in Boots, or The Boy Who Cried Wolf. There has even been many Hollywood blockbuster movies about wolves as well, such as Teen Wolf, Silver Bullet, The Gray, Underworld, and The Howling, to name a few. Stories such as these have shaped our minds to view wolves in a dark and malevolent light. Although it is very much true that the nature of a wolf is not one of to be friendly or of warm character, but yet very much of the spirit of the hunter and predator. Nonetheless, in many ancient cultures, the wolf was also seen as a symbol of transformation and rebirth. In some mythologies, the wolf is said to have the power to transform into other creatures, such as humans or gods, and is often associated with themes of shape-shifting and metamorphosis. In ancient Mesopotamia, the wolf was associated with the god Enlil, who was revered as the god of the air and the king of the gods. This Enlil is said to have created the first wolf as a guardian of the sacred city of Nippur. Thus, the wolf was seen as a symbol of war and destruction, and was often depicted in art and literature as a fierce and powerful creature. In ancient Egyptian mythology, Anubis, the god of mummification, embalming, and protection, has a unique association with the wolf. Anubis is often depicted as a jackal, but in some cases he's depicted with wolf-like features such as a wolf's head or a wolf-like body. The association with Anubis and the wolf is rooted in the mythology of ancient Egyptians. The wolf was seen as a symbol of loyalty, protection, and guardianship, which were all important qualities associated with Anubis. In addition, the wolf was also seen as a symbol of the desert, which was an important domain for Anubis as a god of the underworld. Anubis' association with the wolf is also reflected in his role as a protector of the dead. In ancient Egyptian mythology, Anubis was responsible for protecting the deceased on their journey to the afterlife, and the wolf was seen as a symbol of this protection. The wolf's ability to protect its pack and defend its territory was seen as a reflection of Anubis' role as a protector of the dead. Furthermore, The association between Anubis and the wolf is also reflected in the symbolism of the wolf's howl. In ancient Egyptian mythology, the howl of the wolf was seen as a symbol of mourning and lamentation, which was fitting for Anubis' role as a god of death and mourning. In Yoruba mythology, the god Ogun is associated with the wolf as well. According to myth, Ogun was a fierce warrior who was born from the earth and was said to possess superhuman strength and cunning. The wolf was chosen as his symbol because of its ability to navigate the wilderness and overcome obstacles, reflecting on Ogun's own bravery and strategic thinking. The story goes that Ogun used his wolf symbol to protect his people from harm and to defeat his enemies. He was said to ride into battle on a wolf's back, inspiring his troops with his bravery and tactical prowess. The wolf's howl was also believed to be the sound of Ogun's warriors charging into battle, striking fear into the hearts of the enemies. In Dahomey mythology, the wolf is associated with Hu-Egbaja, the god of war. According to myth, Hu-Egbaja was a fierce warrior who was said to have been transformed into a wolf by the gods. The wolf was chosen as his symbol because of his strength, agility, and cunning. The story goes that Hu-Egbaja used his wolf form to lead the armies of the Dahomey into battle, inspiring his troops with his bravery and strategic thinking. He was said to be able to communicate with his troops through the howling of wolves, allowing them to coordinate their attacks and outmaneuver their enemies. Let's ring the bell for Hu-Egbaja. In Dogon mythology, the wolf is associated with Urugu, the god of creation. According to myth, Urugu was said to have created the world by transforming himself into a wolf, and when using his powers to shape the earth and create life. The story goes that Urugu used his wolf form to roam the earth, creating mountains and valleys, rivers and lakes, and finally humans and animals. The howl of the wolf was said to be the sound of creation itself, echoing across the earth as Urugu brought life into being. Thus, in Zulu mythology, the wolf is associated with Ukunyembezi. I'm going to say that again. Ukunyembezi, a legendary hunter who was said to have possessed the incredible strength and cunning. According to myth, Ukunyembezi was transformed into a wolf by the gods after he had used his hunting skills to provide for his people. The story goes that Ukunyembezi used his wolf form to roam the wilderness, using his incredible strength as agility to hunt down prey and bring food to his people. The howl of the wolf was said to be the sound of Ukunyembezi's triumph return from the hunt, announcing his arrival to his people. In Maasai mythology, the wolf is associated with Ngate a legendary warrior who was said to have possessed incredible strength and bravery. According to myth, Ngate was transformed into a wolf by the gods after he used his fighting skills to protect his people from harm. The story goes that Ngate used his wolf form to roam the wilderness, using his incredible strength and agility to defend his people from predators and invaders. The wolf's howl was said to be the sound of Ngate warning call, alerting his people to potential dangers and inspiring them to stand together against their enemies. Let's ring the bell for Ngate. In addition to its symbolic meanings, the wolf has also been an important part of many ancient cultures' daily lives. In many societies, wolves were hunted for their fur and meat, and were often kept as pets or sacred animals. Thus, in ancient Greek mythology, the wolf is closely associated with Lycaon, a king of Arcadia, who was transformed into a wolf by the god Zeus. The story of Lycaon's transformation is a cautionary tale about the consequences of hubris and the dangers of defying the gods. According to myth, Lycaon was a cruel and savage king who was known for his brutality and lack of compassion. He was also a cannibal who was said to have killed and devoured his own son, Nitsimus, in a fit of rage. This act of cannibalism was seen as a grave offense against the gods and ultimately led to Lycaon's downfall. Zeus, who was angered by Lycaon's actions, decided to punish him by transforming him into a wolf. The myth states that Zeus sent Hermes, the messenger god, to Arcadia to exact this punishment. Hermes arrived at Lycaon's palace, where he found the king in the midst of a feast made from human flesh. In a moment of rage, Hermes struck down Lycaon with his caduceus, transforming him into a wolf. As a wolf, Lycaon was forced to roam the forests and mountains of Arcadia, living off the land and surviving by his wits. The myth says that Lycaon spent many years in his form, always remembering his past life as a king and longing for his human form. The association between wolves and Lycaon has been interpreted in various ways over the centuries. Some have seen it as a symbol of the savage and brutal nature of human beings, while others have interpreted it as a cautionary tale about the dangers of defying the gods. In European folklore, the idea of werewolves emerged in the Middle Ages, where it was believed that certain individuals could transform into wolves through magic or curses. The wolf was seen as a symbol of evil and chaos, and those who were transformed into wolves were often feared and persecuted. The association between wolves and werewolves were further solidified in the Renaissance period with the publication works such as the Metamorphoses by Ovid. In this work, Ovid tells the story of the mythological figure known as Actaeon, who is transformed into a wolf by the gods and is punished for his hubris. In many cultures, the werewolf is seen as a symbol of the struggle between good and evil, with the wolf representing the wild and primal aspects of human nature. The werewolf is often depicted as a monster or an outcast, but is also seen as a powerful and transformative figure. Thus, in ancient Greece, the wolf was associated with the god Artemis, who was revered as the goddess of the hunt, wilderness, and childbirth. The wolf was also seen as a symbol of courage and strength, and was often depicted in art and literature as a powerful and majestic creature. Also, in Greek mythology, the wolf was associated with the goddess Lupa, who was often depicted as a fierce and powerful she-wolf. According to myth, Lupa was the surrogate mother of Romulus and Remus. The story goes that Lupus discovered the twin brothers abandoned in the wilderness in a cave near the Tiber River by the maternal mother Rhea Silva, who was a Vestal virgin. Lupa, the she-wolf, nursed the twins back to health, eventually becoming a symbol of motherly love and protection. As the twins grew, they became strong and healthy, and Lupa continued to watch over them with great care. She taught them how to hunt and survive in the wilderness, and they learned quickly, becoming skilled hunters and warriors. Lupa suckled and protected them until they were found by the shepherd named Faustulus. As they grew older, the twins began to think about their future and what they wanted to achieve. Romulus had a vision of building a great city where people could live together in peace and prosperity. He wanted to create a place where everyone could be safe and happy, and where the wild and untamed aspects of human nature could be kept in check. Remus, on the other hand, had a different vision. He wanted to build a city that was free from the constraints of society, where people could live as they please. He wanted to create a place where people could be wild and free without the burden of rules and regulations. The two brothers began to disagree on their visions, and their disagreements grew into arguments. Lupa watched over them with concern, knowing that their differences would eventually tear them apart. One day, the twins had a fierce argument that ended in Romulus killing Remus. The brothers had been walking together, arguing about their visions, when Romulus suddenly turned on Remus and struck him down. Lupa was devastated by the loss of her beloved son, and she mourned his death deeply. Romulus was filled with regret and guilt over what he had done to his brother. He knew that he had let his desire for power and control get the better of him, and he realized that he had lost the one person who he truly understood him. With a heavy heart, Romulus buried his brother in the earth, and then he began to build the city that he had always dreamed of. He named it Rome after himself, and he ruled it with an iron fist. Lupa continued to watch over Rome, but she was never the same again. She was filled with sadness and grief over the loss of her son, and she knew that nothing would ever be the same again. And so, Rome was built on the blood of fraternal twins, and Lupa's legacy lived on as a symbol of the struggle between civilization and nature. The myth of Romulus and Remus is often seen as a metaphor of the fight between opposing forces, with the wolf representing the wild and untamed aspects of human nature. The twins' eventual fate, in which Romulus killed Remus, is often interpreted as a symbol of the duality between fraternal twins and the eventual dominance of one over the other. Let's ring the bell. The wolf's howl echoed through the streets of Rome, serving as a reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath its surface. Also, in Roman mythology, the wolf was also associated with the god Apollo, who was said to have transformed himself into a wolf to protect his son from the jealous gods. In addition, Apollo's association with the wolf is also linked to his role as a healer and protector. In some stories, Apollo is said to have used the wolf's healing to cure illness and injuries. The wolf's ability to heal and protect its pack is seen as a reflection of Apollo's own role as a protector and healer. Furthermore, the wolf's association with Apollo is also reflected in the mythology of the Menades, a group of female followers of Dionysus who were known for their wild and ecstatic behavior. According to myth, the Menades were often accompanied by wolves, which were seen as a symbol of their wild and untamed nature. In Norse mythology, the wolf is associated with the god Fenrir, who is said to be the son of the god Loki. According to myth, Fenrir is destined to break free from his bonds and devour the sun during the events of Ragnarok, the end of the world. The wolf is also associated with the god Odin, who is often depicted riding a chariot pulled by wolves. Odin, the chief god of Aesir, has a unique association with wolves in Norse mythology. According to legend, Odin often accompanied by a pack of wolves that serve as his messengers and spies. These wolves are said to be fiercely loyal and brave, reflecting the god's own reputation for bravery and cunning. In some accounts, Odin is also said to wear a wolf's skin or cloak, which allows him to blend in with the wilderness and move unseen. This ability to adapt to his surrounding is a hallmark of Odin's character, as he is known for his ability to shapeshift and take on various forms. This symbolism is thought to represent Odin's association with war, magic, and wisdom. In many Native American cultures, the wolf is seen as a powerful symbol of loyalty, courage, and perseverance. The wolf is often depicted as a trickster figure, using his cunning and intelligence to outwit other animals. In some Native American cultures, the wolf is associated with the spirit world, serving as a messenger between humans and the spirits. In other cultures, the wolf is seen as a protector of the tribe, defending against threats from outsiders. In Christianity, the wolf is often seen as a symbol of evil and temptation. The Bible describes Satan as a wolf in sheep's clothing in Matthew 7 verse 15, highlighting his deceitful nature. In this context, the wolf represents the destructive forces that seek to destroy humanity. In Islam, the wolf is not explicitly mentioned in the Quran or Hadiths. However, some Islamic traditions have incorporated stories about wolves in their mythology. For example, one hadith tells the story of a wolf that came to Muhammad's doorstep and was fed by his companions. When Muhammad asked about the wolf's origin, it was said that it was sent by Allah to test their faith. In Jewish tradition, the wolf is mentioned several times in the Torah, the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible. In Leviticus 26 verse 22, God warns Israel against disobeying him, saying, I will turn my face away from you and hand you over to be ravaged by your enemies. You shall be devoured by your foes, and those who remain shall be eaten up by the sword, and you shall be scattered among all nations. The wolf is also associated with King David's victory over Goliath. According to this story, David's faith in God allowed him to overcome even the most powerful enemies, just as a wolf would not be intimidated by a sheep. Okay, navigators of the 7 seas, let us now deep dive into the esoteric and occult symbolism of the wolf, because it is here where we can decode the mysteries surrounding this oftenly misunderstood beast. Keep in mind that masterminds deal with mentalism and polarity, and we see things from multiple divine perspectives beneath the surface, which gives us the ability to transcend beyond the average norms. Thus, in occult and hermetic traditions, the wolf is seen as a symbol of great significance and complexity. The wolf is often associated with the principles of the sun, representing the divine masculine energy, and is considered a powerful symbol of transformation, regeneration, and spiritual growth. In alchemy, the wolf is often depicted as a symbol of the soul Niger, or black sun, which represents the divine spark within human beings. The wolf is said to embody the qualities of the soul Niger, such as strength, courage, and ferocity, which are necessary for the alchemist to overcome the challenges of spiritual transformation. In Hermeticism, the wolf is often associated with the concept of the wild man, or fool, which represents the untamed and unbridled aspects of human nature. The wolf is seen as a symbol of the primal forces that lie beneath the surface of human consciousness, and is often depicted as a shapeshifter or trickster, able to transform into different forms or assume different identities. Furthermore, in many occult traditions, the wolf is also associated with the concept of the moon wolf, which represents the feminine aspect of the divine, and is often linked to the goddess Isis, Diana, or Hecate. The moon wolf is seen as a symbol of intuition, instinct, and creativity, and is often depicted as a powerful and mysterious force that can guide and protect those who seek her wisdom. Let's read the book. Also, in some esoteric traditions, the wolf is also associated with the concept of lupa, which represents the divine feminine principle in its most pure and untainted form. Lupa is often depicted as a powerful and majestic figure, the body of a wolf and the head of a woman, symbolizing the union of opposites and a reconciliation of masculine and feminine energies. Let us also take note that the wolf has also been interpreted as a psychological symbol in various contexts. In psychoanalytical theory, the wolf can represent repressed instinct or desires that are hidden beneath the surface. In this sense, the wolf is seen as a symbol of primal energy and power. In Jungian psychology, the wolf represents a symbol of transformation and renewal. The idea is that just as wolves go through a process of transformation from cubhood to adulthood, humans can undergo similar transformations through their own personal growth and development. Question: why are we talking about wolves, and why is it important to understand the science of the wolf, and how can this information help us today in life? That's what the masterminds want to know, and I, Flat Archie 5000, am here to give you the memo. Thus, we give you the answer. Understanding the metaphysical and spiritual associations of the wolf is important for several reasons. Firstly, It can help us tap into the symbolism and energies that the wolf represents, allowing us to connect with our own inner nature and the world around us. The wolf is often associated with qualities such as loyalty, courage, intuition, and transformation, which can be powerful tools for personal growth and self-discovery. The wolf is also often seen as a symbol of the wild, untamed, and mysterious aspects of life, which can remind us to respect and appreciate the beauty and power of nature. Also, take note that the wolf's connection to intuition and instinct can also guide us and towards navigating our own paths. We can learn to trust our own inner voices and listen to our own inner wisdom. Thus, when we look at the wolf's transformation from a vulnerable pup to a powerful hunter, we can see parallels in our own lives. We can learn to let go of our fears and doubts, just as the wolf lets go of its old skin and emerges stronger and more confident on the other side. Lastly, the wolf's pack dynamic can also reflect our own social relationships and how we interact with others. For example, the wolf's hierarchy and dominance and submission dynamics can symbolize our own struggles for power and control in our own personal relationship. Furthermore, the wolf's adaptability and resilience in the face of adversity can serve as a metaphor for our own ability to cope with stress and uncertainty. The wolf's capacity to thrive in harsh environments can inspire us to develop our own resilience and resourcefulness in the face of challenges. Moreover, the wolf's connection to the natural world can remind us of our own place within the ecosystem and encourage us to adopt a more holistic and sustainable approach to life. Thus, by examining the psychological significance of the wolf, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves, our relationships, and our place in the world. This can lead to increased self-awareness, personal growth, and a greater sense of purpose and fulfillment. So as always, in Solomon's Temple, I leave you in peace with these powerful words. The God in you overcomes and destroys the beast in you when you open your heart to embrace the compassion and truth. Let me repeat it one more time, just so you can get the memo. The God in you overcomes and destroys the beast in you when you open your heart to embrace compassion and truth. Ashe, ashe, ashe.